Hello, hello, hello. This is Farrell and welcome to Planet Coaster 2. It's here. It's fucking here. Oh my god, I started swearing. It doesn't matter. Planet Coaster 2 is here and I'm having the time of my life with this game. I really am. It's a complete difference for me. It's a amazing game. I'm really happy with this. And where I'm starting a YouTube series. Huh, I'm kind of starting to stutter because it's so new. I'm starting a YouTube series, Faenura Park. We're gonna build a park, and I had a vote on the Discord about what kind of park it should be, and we're going high budget, fantasy, Efteling, Disneyland, that kind of idea. Now, this park is not gonna be as big as an Efteling or Disneyland, because I have a computer that probably won't handle that. But that's okay. We're making a smaller park. So Toverland in the Netherlands also has a lot of high theming nowadays. So I'm gonna steal a lot from Efteling and build, my next Planet Coaster 2 park, or my first Planet Coaster 2 park. I'm so excited for this. And as you can see in the time lapse, I'm already building. And the first thing I wanted to do was build an entrance, because people need to get into the park. And as always, I'm looking to use information booths as ticket booths in this game. And you'll see me do a lot of rummaging around menus to actually get everything to work. I was streaming this, and for sure I needed to edit a few controls and stuff. I switched P and spacebar around, so spacebar now does the angle snap again, like in Planet Coaster 1, and P does the pause again, like in Planet Coaster 1. And for this park, I'm gonna build fantasy style. Like I said, I'm gonna be basing this off Efteling, mostly Efteling is my home park, so Efteling is gonna be the park I'm gonna be referencing a lot in this park. It's not gonna be a one-to-one copy, but I am stealing elements off of it. And already I found a few pieces that I really love. And the first piece I'm really loving is the blaster walls. Oh, as you can see, I already started using them to cover the information booths and work out what I needed to do there. And I'm going for this medieval style build for the ticket booths with a tower next to it, and the tower is going to be a gate eventually. And there's a story behind this park. I completely forgot. There's a story behind this park. Because it's such a high budget themed park, I'm kind of naming elements of it. So in my head, people are going to the Gate of Wonder and enter the park through the Gate of Wonder, and then walk down Fantasy Lane into the park. And then the park will split up in 3 realms. So every realm is gonna have its own theme. Gonna have more of an adventurous, Rough Riders realm. I'm not sure about the naming yet. We'll get there. There's gonna be like a fantasy realm with a fantasy forest, like Sprookjesbos in Efteling. And there's gonna be more like I wanted to call it a portal realm. So a realm to different cultures. Maybe Viking, because that's easy. But a realm towards different cultures. And lots of nature. So please like the video if you want, and enjoy, because I am enjoying Planet Coaster 2, and I hope you guys will come along with me on this journey. But first off, of course, I need to be building the ticket area, the square, and we're gonna build a little bit of parking lot, and we're gonna build that fantasy lane with a carousel at the end. And but the decoration for the carousel is gonna be in a later episode, because I need to figure out how the realms are gonna split off from there. But I wanted something beyond the gate. And here I'm building a ticket booth, and I'm already going for those windows that are in the walls and not on the outside of the walls, because I do want to get that realism vibe in, that yeah, walls of windows in walls. I will admit there are a few things with Planet Coaster 2 that are not working the way I would love them to work. But also, by the time I'm recording this, they already announced a few quality of life improvements with updates. They're listening. So if you are polite and talk to Frontier, or comment in the videos below, like in this video or else's video, believe me, Frontier is listening, and if you want things to change, that can happen. I'm 100% sure. But for now, let's get back to the build. And this build, the wood from the Viking pack. I think a lot of the stuff I'm using here, the wood, is from the Viking pack. It's so good. The textures are so good. The scaling is so good. I'm really falling in love with this whole game, and I was expecting a bit of a struggle, but after like 2-3 hours of playing, I already got in a vibe, in a role, and was just building. I am mostly building the facades here and the building roughly, but the backside of the building and roof I've kept for now blank, because I don't know for sure what's going to come behind the buildings. The layout of the park I have roughly in my head, and I had a few ideas jotted down, but I'm not 100% sure how I'm implementing those and where everything is going. So the whole entrance area as it is, at the end of this episode, is going to be more of a facade. And then afterwards I'm going to work more on the backstaging and figuring out where everything is going to go and how everything is going to look at the backside. I'm already, of course, working a little bit ahead. So, one backside is probably going to be a shop, and it's just going to be a different facade on the other side. But yeah, just working it out, For now, I'm just working on the gate and this house, and I want to copy this house over and mirror it on the other side. And then change it a little bit. That's what you're gonna see in this video. I'm really just having fun with all the wood pieces, and I'm working out how I can use them and implement them. And as you can see, I've already taken a lot of pieces from the different themes and combined them. And I think in this game, the pieces feel a little bit more generic than in the old game. And I've heard Jonty say that as well. And it really works well. Like here, I'm scaling this chest to be a backboard for whatever this decorative piece in the middle is. And it just works. A lot of the pieces are very applicable to a lot of the things you want to do. I mean, I've got already like 3 different themes in here, and it just works. I love that almost everything is recolorable. It's a perfect the scenery pieces and the building for me is no, not perfect. Perfect never exists, but it's great. I'm really loving it, and for me, it's not a disappointment. In a later episode, I'm building a coaster. I ran into a few minor things, and again, it's minor things. Um, I'm a City Skylines 2 player. I was City Skylines 1. When City Skylines 2 came out, it was a complete disaster, so I was bracing myself for this. This is far from a big disaster. This game is a bit rough around the edges here and there, but nothing to complain about a lot. This is no levels of Cyberpunk 2077 or City Skylines 2. It's very, very playable and very workable. And as you can see, I'm having the time of my life just building this building. These ticket offices. I really wanted to go all out for that entrance and really get something that works as a facade. And here you can see how I'm working that out, and you know, just doing a few minor adjustments, but the front of this building is as good as done, and I'm happy how it looks. After finishing the first house, I decided to copy over the second house. I think in the meantime I've already put the sun on a fixed position because it was getting dark and light and dark and light. But I was so fixated on building that I at first didn't notice. But as you can see, I ran into a few things with copying this over and stuff, but eventually I got my building copied to the other side with the tower on the right side as well. Just took me a bit to figure out. Selecting in Planet Coaster 2 is a bit rough sometimes. I am not 100% happy with how selecting works. I'll you know, I have my gripes, but they're very minor for the experience I've already had in this game. So here we have a rough outline of how our gate looks now. As you can see, I'm still trying to add a few things to the houses, but eventually I'll be putting them on an angle and building the gate in the middle. And with the houses on an angle, I am now starting to work on our Gate of Wonder, our portal into our little world we're creating behind this entrance. And again, scaling tool, I use this piece from the Viking themes to close off this gate, and such beautiful pieces. The wooden textures, I like to use a lot of wood in my Planet Coaster builds, and the textures for the wood in this game are amazing. I really fell in love with those, and I just tried to figure out a nice gate style build, if you want. And the name of our park is gonna go up there as well. Faenura, I don't know. I just made it up. It sounded like Fae, fairy, fantasy, so that's how I came up with the name. Sorry, there's no special meaning behind that one. And yeah, slowly building it up, as you can see here. Loving that boat skeleton piece. Works really well for this kind of build, and upside down, I don't know, it worked for me. I also wanted to add gates to this, like the portal, the gate opens every day to let in mortals into the wonder realm That's my idea behind this um, park. And I didn't want to use wood because I was using already so much wood, but I ended up using wood, but not maybe in the way you would think I would have used it. I ended up using signs. Here I go with the sign. I ended up using signs to make the doors, and actually that worked really well because they have this nice trim. That's of course the Viking signs again, and really happy with how this door started to look after putting also these beams in and I think a bit of a trim, if I'm not mistaken. Oh yeah, I'm using these Viking, I don't know, pieces to use as a hinge on the door. I mean, it doesn't have to be functional. We can just keep this open. It's just a decorative gate. So, oh yeah, I found these pieces that are actually rounded, but I put them in the. I put them in the door a little bit to disguise the edges of those, and I think the doors now look really nice. And the green is going to be one of the colors of the park. I think it fits really well. And again, really happy with how this looks. Also, as a Planet Zoo player, I really enjoyed the advanced movement tool. Also with that extra bit that you can now diagonally go. But I've heard a few of my Planet Coaster purist friends hating that tool. But it's something you can just get used to. I'm 100% sure. So we'll get there. And there's our name, Faenura, in nice and green colors. I think I decorated the gate a little bit more. Yeah, here we go. Like a few of these flaming thingies. I have no idea. What would you call that? I have no idea. But there's another flaming fire dish, whatever. And there is our gate. All done. Yeah, again, what I said, super happy about how this looks. And now it's time to make something for guest services. I decided to put guest services to the side and on an angle, just so the whole build, the whole entrance area looks a lot more interesting. Again, trying to work in those windows and doors into the walls, so they look a lot more realistic. But again, we have a very high budget for this park, so I am building a lot of theming on these buildings. In last parks I built, they were more like on the realistic Thorpe Park side, Walibi Holland. This is really a high budget park, Fantasialand, Efteling, and I'm really trying to get a decoration into everything, and I'm also just trying out all these pieces, trying out wooden pieces, trying to figure out what I could do with them, getting splashes of color on the walls. These driftwood pieces I've already used a lot, really like them. Yeah, and this little guest services building is working out well. Eventually I'm probably gonna put in the spawn point there to have the people walk out from the guest services. It's something I do a lot for my parks. Stolen from Moomin Little Socks, who is an amazing creator you should watch. Again, like I said, the backside of the buildings. I'm not decorating at the moment just because I don't know what is going to uh, be there at the backside when I'm designing the park. I don't know if it's going to be backstaging. I don't know if there's going to be a ride maybe put onto it. I want to make a dark ride for this um, park, so that's probably going to be on the outside somewhere. So maybe the backside of these buildings. I have no idea. So I need to figure that out before I build the backside of these buildings. But you know, with some roofing in there and that roofing from the mythology scenery is amazing. These wall decals that we have in Zoo, but we didn't have in Planet Coaster 1 unless you use Team Decay, are amazing. And I think this whole area came together quite nicely. And started work on the little building to the side. I just wanted something there to break the blockiness and have something in there, and that's just what I did with this little outcropping. This building has no function at all. Maybe it's storage. Maybe there's bins in there. I don't know. Maybe there's an admin office in there. I have no idea. But I don't care. This is just there to break the blockiness. And eventually I'm doing a simple job on this one, but we're gonna build a lot of nature work around here as well, and that's gonna tie it all together as it usually does when I'm building these parks and zoos. Nature all connected together, and you can see that here. Ivy, there's lots of ivy in there. Looks a bit like the ivy I'm used to from Planet Zoo, but I think they ported a lot of Planet Zoo pieces into Planet Coaster 2. I might be wrong, but I don't think so. And this piece, the Viking fence, the Viking stone fence or something like that, might be my new favorite piece. I love the look of it. It looks amazing. Oh, and especially with the scaling, you can use it for so much, and you're gonna see it a lot more being used by me because I really adore this little piece. I'm also gonna use it for the Promenade, and you'll see that in a moment. And it's yeah, and then nature, putting in all kinds of foliage just to vary it up a little bit, and really give our square a rounded off feel. I already tried focusing on getting some backstage area going. I'm not filling up the backstage area just yet, but at least I want an entrance towards that backstage area from the square. And I'm just making these custom walls to have them work like that. And yeah, I, I feel it's way easier for me to now just build something and make a custom thing. The game runs really smoothly. I didn't feel like a chore, and again, using this Viking wooden piece, it really finishes off the way this looks. And of course, put in some chain link fence just to make sure you know there's a bit of reality coming in here. Yeah, perfectly working. I saw these flags. They're not really flags, they're called signs, I think. But I love putting these flags always in my parks because I don't know, it gives that big theme park vibe. And I kept the benches on the outside generic. I didn't theme them yet because I want you to walk into the theming. And this is still a walk from the parking lot, so I don't want too much theming. But these lights are perfect. I think they are a great addition for that. The two big ones I just placed in the middle of the square, I removed them. I didn't like them. But I added some lights to the outside of the buildings as well. But those big lights in the middle are going to disappear soon. And then it's parking lot time. I took the buggy as a reference point, and I just wanted to make a very generic parking lot. I'm not thinking about the logistics at all. I just wanted to have that vibe that, like, you know, there's a parking lot here, and that's it. So don't expect too much of this one. Maybe in future parks I will be more thinking of all the logistics behind the parking lot. But this parking lot is just there to be a parking lot, and that's it. I also need to place the buses somewhere and change the spawn points. I haven't delved into that yet. So I'm not doing that yet now. But for now, this is our parking lot. It has places to park your car. That's about it. But again, really quickly with how I made it, put some fencing on the outside for realism. So it kind of at least felt finished. But again, the sides of the parking lot I didn't do because I have no idea where everything of the park will end up. So I still need to figure out those pieces. But again, placing shrubbery. I haven't touched the brush yet, the scenery brush. Maybe that's something I'm gonna do in the future. Oh, there goes the big lights, and I'm changing the texture of the pathing as well, because I like this more. This feels more high budget park like Efteling does. Efteling has a lot of tile instead of just tarmac everywhere. So yeah, feels good. And the last step for this episode is gonna be our promenade. The place where people come in and can walk into our wonder world. I wanted to say World of Wonder, but I think Efteling is gonna sue me if I do that. So let's not do that, because that's their tagline. This is the first time I'm working on with water, trying to figure out how that works. Being able to clear earth from underneath the paths is amazing. Terraforming under the paths is a game changer for me. So something I struggled with so much in Zoo and Coaster 1, and now I can just do it. So our promenade here is directly stolen from Efteling. The idea, the Efteling one might be a bit wider, but it has like water on the sides and like fountains in the middle, and I basically copied that concept and did the dress up a little bit differently. But I do like where it goes. It really takes you into the world. It doesn't just go bam, here's a lot of rides. You need to walk a little bit to get into the world, and that's exactly what I want with this park. You can also see again that I'm using that Viking fence stone thing a lot here as retaining walls for the water. It's such an amazing piece. I'm gonna be raving about this piece a lot. I'm using it later in the series as well. I can already tell you in the second episode. It's just, I really like it. Placing some fountains in the middle. I might sequence them up in a later stage to have them splash differently. It's not something I felt comfortable with at that point, because I was still discovering the game as much as everybody was. and I'm just trying to figure out what I can do and can't do. And sequencing, I didn't like I know the sequencer is way better and it now has those timelines, but it's not one of my favorite things to do in Planet Coasters, and so yeah, forgive me. Again, placing a lot of shrubbery by hand, not using the brush. I know there's a brush now, but I kind of just was enjoying figuring out the pieces and putting them in, and having nature work and flowers and everything, and just was having a lot of fun just going around all these pieces and figuring out what they are. And again, like I said, I want people to walk into the park and first walk this promenade, this wonder lane or fantasy lane, and be enveloped by the rest of the park. And that's why I'm trying to get a lot of shrubbery around it, so you can't look into the park that much, because I want you to start your adventure from the middle of the park where the carousel is coming in a moment. So at the end of our promenade is going to be our carousel, and I am still learning the pathing tool. It's not, I wanted to say it's not that intuitive, but I think it's just a getting used to it, to be honest. Put in the Venetian carousel. Now, I don't have, like I said, I don't have a lot of gripes with this game. There's one I really don't like, and I don't like it in Zoo as well. The pathing, it has that, the queue pathing has that Planet Coaster logo in it. Why? It does not make sense for me. I do not like how that looks. And I kind of didn't want to use path covers and not doing it. But it's just, yeah. I'm just figuring out stuff. Here I'm trying to get rid of some path to make a water feature that is going to disappear later on. So let's skip to the end of the episode, and I'll show you what everything has become. And here it is. Our first episode of the park is done. A parking lot, a lead up to the park itself, and a park entrance with a promenade behind it. Really happy with how this is turning out. I'm thrilled with Planet Coaster 2. Really am. There's, like I said, there's a few things that might not be perfect, but they'll change that. They already announced quality of life improvements, so that's gonna happen anyway. And yeah, guest services, entrances, ticket booths, all themed in this high fantasy theming. I'm really happy with this. The promenade. Oh, where am I going? Okay. Yeah, Pharaoh. Good. Where am I going? Can we go to the promenade, please? Yes, there we go. The promenade looks really nice with the nature work, and in the middle there's our big ass carousel that's gonna be decorated in future episodes after I worked out how the square is gonna look and how it's gonna split off into all the areas. But if you enjoyed this episode, please leave a like, and I'm gonna say bye bye.